Yo, I said dealership play upon the Bobby WJ. Probably put a little bit too much on that J, forgive me. But nah, good morning to y'all, man. How y'all feeling? We are currently living through some trying times. And I just want to encourage and motivate everyone to get them some type of outlet, get them some type of foundation that allows them to decompress from the trials and the tribulations that we're going to experience out here in the world. You feel what I'm saying? Keep your faith in something that's greater than you. Connect with your God, give your God praise, and in turn, your God will strengthen you and give you the endurance to navigate through all challenges, to overcome all obstacles. So, all praise be to the Most High God, man. Good morning to y'all. I did a controversial live. I didn't know it was going to be controversial. I didn't foresee where the live that I did last night with Baby Gangsta, I didn't think that it would be something that would have individuals calling my phone in the middle of the night and expressing what they were expressing. Oh man, it may be something behind that. And some individuals like, oh man, he said this, that, and third. That ain't on you. That's on him. It's been a lot of calls. You know what I mean? But it's cool. It's gravy, baby. You feel what I'm saying? To my brothers from out of the Jordan Downs, man, to the Gray Streets. If anybody from your tribe attempts to come to you with any propaganda as it pertains to me, and this ain't no plea, this ain't telling people not to side with your homies, this, that, and third. But if you're going to side with your homie, make sure you're siding with your homie over something that's real, not something that's fraudulent, made up, and fictitious. A brother from that side, I ain't gonna go too deep into the conversation and all that, but a brother from that side, after I did the video, holding brothers accountable and exposing the agent provocateurs who are amongst us. And I just want to come on and say this, man. It's not just the Jordan Down housing projects that has these agent provocateurs. Any community that you go to where individuals is working in connection with the government or working for some chapter or some form of intervention or prevention, you're going to have these agent provocateurs. And as I have said before, I will state it again. When they first start putting this down, hey, peace and blessings. 11A BC, crazy old deuce. What's the dinner now, man? Much love and respect. Shorty McGriff, how you doing? Good morning to you and yours. Unique in every way. God bless you, Queen. When they first put this thing down, because all of this stemmed from the monumental movement that they created in Watts in 1992 with the PJs, Imperial Courts housing projects, the Gray Streets Jordan Down housing projects, the Nicholson Gordon housing projects, which is the Bonnie Hunters, and the Hacienda Village, which is the Hacienda Village Bloods. When individuals came together and they said, man, listen, we have to find a solution to the problems that's going on in our community. And at that time, it was exclusion from certain job markets, certain industries. Cats from Watts didn't get opportunities that other individuals was getting. Watts was treated in the fashion of a redhead stepchild because of the influence that they had on Los Angeles County. It was also an astronomical amount of gang-related booka, booka, blacka, 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 all this and all that. So dudes came together not for the purpose of receiving incentives from the government, getting money from the government. That's not why Daoud, Snipe, the brother from out the Nicholsons, and everybody else, Twilight Bay from out of the Haciendas, that's not why individuals came together. Individuals didn't come together seeking compensation, government support, government aid. That wasn't even on these brothers' minds. These brothers never came together and said, you know what? If we come together and bring peace, we'll be able to get money. We'll be compensated. They didn't come together for that. They came together because of these type of situations. Your family migrated out here from the South. Your grandmama, she landed in Imperial Courts. And I'm speaking from my situation. My grandmama blood cousin, her first cousin, went to the Jordan Downs. And when this gang stuff took off and went everywhere like a raging forest fire, these gang wars and whatnot, it severed family ties. So I got blood cousins on my grandmama's side that we don't even have a connection to. We don't even converse with. We don't, you know what I mean? I don't know my cousins over there, but I got cousins over there. You understand what I'm saying? So this gang stuff, it was dividing families. Now let's just talk about the individuals who know their cousins and the Nickerson Gardens and the Haciendas and the Jordan Downs and all that, but we don't talk because we're under a gang war. And the homies wouldn't understand because it ain't about family. It's about the set. It's about the gang. Them dudes just came over here and slid and hit one of our kin folks. And we don't like that. We got to take retaliatory actions against that. So if that's your cousin over there and your cousin is representing that, your cousin is a part of that faction, your cousin is a part of that tribe, that set, oh man, he got to pay the piper too. Because what you going to do, little homie, you going to pick your family member and his partners just came over here and chip one of our partners, or you going to pick the set? And we eating with you. We blowing dodo with you. We putting you in position to put money in your pocket. We your family. So you going turn your back on us because you got one or two cousins over there? Your cousins is a part of the tribe, the adversaries that then came over here, and look what they did to the homie Lil, so on and so forth. So we're not even encouraged to try to develop relationships with our family members on the other side so that we can reduce some of the stuff that's going on. But getting back to what I was saying, getting back on topic, that's why Snipe, Daoud, and the brothers from the Nickersons came together, man, because they wanted to find a solution. They didn't want to continue to put separation in between family members. The peace treaty allowed individuals to come together and feel what it feels to be up under the code of universal blackness. But getting back to it. After the peace treaty, the government seen how forward, how positive and productive this movement was. So you know what they did? They sent the police in to hit people over the head, take their cars, create division. Initially, they were sending the police to go into these communities and do some fa till one of them got hit. And they couldn't explain that. So they covered up the investigation. It was no investigation. They didn't do no investigation. They didn't publicize it on the news or none of that. They said, we got to rethink this. They went to the Hispanic community. They got the Mexicans to create propaganda that the Crips and Bloods was coming together to go against the SAs and the Los Angeles Police Department. Man, that was a fallacy. That was negative propaganda. So they said, we got to find a way to control this. How can we control it? They oppose the police. They look at the police the way they used to look at one another as the adversary. But now we're at a disadvantage because you got all these gang members who are ready to go. That's on one accord. All they need now is a designated leader that they all can respect and adhere, and not adhere, that they all can respect and listen to. Louis Farrakhan began to reach out to Tony Bogart, sent him a whole lot of literature and began to, build with the brother because they wanted to create somebody that could potentially drive this movement into a whole different level of success. Now we're talking about economics. We're talking about starting businesses. We're talking about incorporating ideas. You know what I mean? He got this idea. Okay, let us show you how to go through the steps to make this vision a reality. He want to start a business. Brother, we got you. Let us show you how to write these business proposals. Let us show you how to start up these 501c3 nonprofit organizations. The government said, no, you're not. The government came in and designated for themselves certain individuals that they can sway with money. Oh, we want to show you how to do this. The politicians came in. We want to show you how to do this. We love it. We want to do this and we want to do that. But what they did is they created separation because now you want to show him how to get a 501c3 tax exempt status for a nonprofit organization, but you don't want to deal with this guy over here in imperial courts. So the guy over here is like, for sure, cool, we gonna take off. And now they're publicizing, they're highlighting the fact that they're putting the bag behind this person. But what about this person's efforts? What about that person's contributions? So now it's separation, right? All right, for sure. And that's when they came with the nonprofit organizations. That's when they came with giving grants and this, that, and third. That's when a money factor came in. When a money factor came in, and it wasn't about the community, it wasn't about saving the babies, it wasn't about improving the conditions of living for the next generations. It became about money, because now guys is like, what? I ain't got to hit a play. Because if you know anything about Tony Bogart, man, Tony Bogart was a hustler, a jacker, a gangster, a jack of all trades. So TB ain't out there orchestrating, robberies of dudes. You know what I mean? TB was notorious for sending some dudes to duct tape a dude and, tie him up, and man, where them chickens at? We ain't here to play. You can have it this way or this way. I don't think you're gonna like it this way. Where them chickens at, man? We got a job to do, man. You prolonging this, man. Listen, we tired of talking, and they about to keep on being this, that, and third on me. Listen, your time is limited. Partner, where them chickens at? That's what TB was on. So when dudes, and not just TB, I'm just telling you a little bit about our general, Tony Bogart, right? But when other dudes seen that they gonna make 100,000, 200,000, $250,000, and they ain't gotta take these penitentiary chances, man, a lot of dudes was excited about that. But now here's the division. So you're gonna give him 250,000, but you're not going to give any type of funding or present any type of opportunities over here in our development, in our projects, and that can make people feel some type of way. Now egos is coming into play. Now that old way of living, being a gangster, being this, so on and so forth, now that can potentially resurface, and now we back with these homicidal intentions and tendencies. But I will say this, in the community of Watts, the peace treaty went on for over 10 years. Even though it was isolated situations in regards to people being jumped, youngsters fighting, a couple of boom, bam, bam, when nobody was this, and dudes came to the table and they resolved it, because now we have open lines of communication. Hey man, your little homies just came over here and did whoopty whoop. What they look like? What side? All right, for sure. I know exactly who that is. I'll holler at you. Nobody was saying, oh yeah, that's the little homie. No, it wasn't none of that. It was real cats doing real things. He'll go directly to the little homie. Man, what's going on, man? Why was y'all over there doing this and doing that and behaving like that? Oh, big homie, we ain't doing that no more. Next time it's a situation like that, holler at me and we gonna resolve it before it get to any disrespecting or riding around dudes' projects and screaming out this and burning rags and all that. We're not gonna do that. Hey man, this is what it stemmed from. You'll call his partner back. This is what it stemmed from, man. This is what this happened. And when that happened, the little homies, whoopty whoop, I got on them. You don't have to worry about it no more. I'll let your young cats, man, and it's over with. And it was over with. But when the money came in, when they seen how thirsty certain brothers was for opportunities and money, they knew they can control the brothers through the money. Especially the younger generation that wasn't as savvy, that wasn't as unified as the brothers who were the pioneers, who were the mavericks, and put together the peace treaty in 1992. Now you got the youngsters that's out there. You feel what I'm saying? And hey, man, I'll give you 100,000. What? You'll give me a what? 100,000. You gonna give me 100,000? What I gotta do? Oh man, you don't really have to do anything. Just police your community. Do this, do this, do that. It may be a time to where we call on you and we have a private conversation. We give you your instructions, but that's it. So you remember dudes was, putting them big rims on the cars and painting them like a bag of chips, or putting certain paints on them and all this and all that. Some of that was from that. The government coming through and putting money in dudes' pockets. Man, we got you. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. We got you. Don't do nothing. Don't worry about nothing. That's why you got certain documentaries of gang leaders saying, man, they paying me. I don't know what they paying me for. I can't stop no wars. They paying me. I don't know what they paying me for. I can't stop no wars. They're paying you for your influence. And when they had that private conversation with you, and they said, there is going to be a time that we're going to call on you, and we give you instructions. It just so happened that allegedly, this influential dude from out of one of the housing projects that made the statement, they paying me, I don't know what they paying me for, I can't stop no wars, that he stood, allegedly, there's sides that says this, the sides that say that, but we're going to speak the good. This brother allegedly didn't compromise. What? You want to give me what? And what? For my homies to go shoot at the PJs? Oh no, man, we ain't doing that. But this is the thing. When you make a deal with the devil, you got to expect to be burned. So they went and found themselves somebody else that would take that 10,000 to send his little homies the bus on the PJs, to go get cracking on the bounty hunters, to go across the street and get cracking on them dudes. So you see where I'm going with this? I'm not against community policing. I'm not against defunding the police and putting the money in the hands of the individuals in a community that has a rapport with that community. I know how effective it can be. I've seen Snipe and a slew of other brothers do it successfully. Mitigate hostile situations that could have escalated back into a full-fledged gang war. I seen it. I was semi a part of it, where the big homie directly came to me to resolve a conflict with a dude from the other side. I know how effective it works when you have righteous individuals in the right positions. We can get the right results. But when you have dudes in these positions that's solely into it for the money, when the money stops, their reason for caring stops. But we're going to get into this conversation, not conversation, forgive me. We're going to get into this topic with Baby Gangsta, man. People been calling me and all this and all that. And whatever conclusion the people arrive at, it's not me persuading people to think and feel this type of way. It's on the brother's own attestation. That's today's neologism. Attestation. It's on a brother's own self attestation. Let me drop this in the comments. Hold on. I believe I spelled that right. It's on a brother's own attestation, or it's the brother's self-attestation is what is getting people to view him in a different light, not Bobby A. I went into that content not knowing what to expect. He said what he said. It's off his words. It's off a man's own words in which that man would be convicted on and by that man's words. Getting back to addressing the brothers from the Jordan Downs. A young controversial figure, not young, brother damn near 40, excuse my language. Brother almost 40, jumped in my inbox, sent some inflammatory stuff. I'm not going to repeat it on the internet. It's too gangster for YouTube, baby. But this is the thing with that individual. I'm not no stranger to danger, baby. That's why they made me the park ranger. If it's that, and it's that, and it's that, let it be that. But to anybody from that side, if anybody comes and give you some negative propaganda, holla at me. If anybody comes and says, oh, he spoke on or deceased loved one in a negative fashion, or he disrespected our deceased loved one, that's a fallacy. That's propaganda that a person is trying to utilize to assemble a hate mob. But it is what it is. But if you're going to go against Bobby A, make sure you're righteous in your opposition and designating yourself to be my adversary. I got the receipts. Ain't no thing. I don't mind showing them to the individuals over there. I ain't going to show them to my homies, because then I make my homies bias and feel some type of way and want to get into some, some gangster like conduct, and we don't need that. But like I just talked to the brother last night from out of the Jordan Downs, we see what these agent provocateurs is trying to do. We see you. We know what's going on. You're not going to be successful. If the vision, when the vision, we're going to speak it into existence. When the vision manifests, a lot of these dudes is going to have to pick a side. Is you pushing for what's productive, righteous, and fulfilling, or is you pushing for what's destructive, detrimental, and harmful to the community? You have to pick a side. And the side that I'm talking about is bigger than PJ, Bunny Hunter, Grape, Hacienda, Fudgetown, Backstreet, Front Street. Is bigger than that. Because in the Bible, it talks about the farmer who goes out and separate the good wheat and barley from the bad wheat and barley. You have to make a decision. Is you going to be righteous or is you going to be wicked? What decision is you going to make? Because that separation between warriors and righteous men from different housing projects and different communities, that's about to stop. Real dudes is down on these phones and having these conversations, as I told you before they released that video. Dudes is having private conversations, trying to figure this out. But now we got some real big dogs that's like, ooh, we don't like that. We got some real big dogs that want to lend their voice and lend their hand and potentially lend their back to create resources and opportunities so that we can reduce some of what's going on. So to all the brothers in the Jordan Downs, man, if you have taken any umbrage to or with anything that I have said, bang my line, holler at me. And this is where we at now, right? I want to read this. Samad Spencer, we ain't worried about you. You're a weirdo. But this dude named Esau 103, he had some very provocative and disrespectful things to say. Some of them I deleted because I didn't want my homies to go on there, read it, and then jump on some disrespectful shit. I didn't want my homies to go on there and return a hate. I didn't want my homies to go on there and start dissing how this dude was dissing and saying the things that he was saying. But what I did leave is the dude Esau 103, and when you click on his page, he's really a member. He's really from over there, right? Got to be careful with this. He says, a proven fact that the Nickerson Gardens and the Imperial Courts clicked up against us because they couldn't handle the beef. So stop talking on the internet, cuz damn. He said that the PJs clicked up with the Bonnie Hunter Bloods, and they should no longer consider themselves Crips. They should, stop saying Crip, this, that, and third. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but what I will say, must I remind you of Bonnie Hunter Grape? Before the PJs even entertained the idea of having a relationship with any Bloods, the Bonnie Hunters and the Gray Streets had a relationship, even before Crippin' and Blood. When the Gray Streets or the Jordan Downs decided to align themselves with the Crips, and you got to understand the history of this. And the Jordan Downs, they wasn't rocking with the Crips. They kept the Crips out of their projects for like 8 years. They were green jackets. The PJs weren't green jackets. But if you want to talk about the history of Watts, let's talk about it. A lot of young cats who don't know their history, they get offended when I come on here and I start speaking these facts. Oh, how you know he wasn't even born? How you know about Christianity and Jesus? And you weren't born when he was here? Through careful research, investigation, paying attention, and having conversations. Getting back to what I said, what I'm saying. The PJs wasn't green jackets. We was 4, 5, 6, Orientals, and all this and all that. Y'all go learn y'all history about y'all sections. The Nickerson Gordon housing projects, this is before the Bonnie Hunters. The Nickerson Gordon housing projects and the Jordan Down housing projects had a game called the Green Jackets. Some people say it originated in the Nickerson Gardens, and through the relationship that they had with the Jordan Downs, they began to recruit members from over there. But the PJs, we wasn't rocking with it. We was cool. We had our own identity. We had our own thing. Now fast forward. The Bounty Hunters, being that they had a relationship with the Jordan Downs, they slightly, listen to me, slightly felt away when the Jordan Downs started embracing Crippin' and started cripping. They kind of felt away. But it was like, why y'all make the decision to be Crips? And y'all opposed the Crips for so long. Why y'all ain't jump on this thing that we on? You feel what I'm saying? So they always had a relationship. So I'm going to remind you of that. It was Bunny on a Grape Street. And if anybody on here is somebody from either housing projects, you know I'm not being disrespectful. You know I'm telling the truth. That relationship that existed between, and I say it was beautiful. That beautiful relationship that existed between the Bounty Hunters and the Grape Streets, it even influenced some dudes off the West Side to come to Watts and insert themselves in that union between the Bounty Hunters and grapes. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about apples, oranges, and grapes. That union, apples, Bounty Hunters for the red. Oranges, Hoovers for the orange. Grapes, it's clear. You know what, grapes for the grapes. What was the PJs in that? PJs wasn't in that. We was independent. We was doing our own thing. So before you come on here and start trying to say these people are less than, or the PJs shouldn't be Crips because they have a relationship with the Bounty Hunters, and it's a beautiful relationship. Don't get it tangled. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it effed up. So I'm going to be a little bit more responsible with my words and show you why these people were flying me to different states to come and do some keynote speaking. When she told me that the babies can be affected by the way that I by the way that I deliver my presentations, I say, oh, hold on, for the babies? Yeah, you got to shape up and get right. But getting back to what I was saying, baby. The PJ stayed independent. We was doing our own thing. You know what I mean? The Bounty Hunters, the Grace, and the Hoovers, they had what they had going on, and that's what it was. But to come on here and try to condemn and denounce the PJs and try to encourage the PJs to renounce their Crip association, affiliation, and alliance, that's crazy, bro. Because if you having this level of expectations for the PJs, then you also got to have the same expectation for your homies that was Bunny on a graping. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, baby. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Do the PJs have a relationship with the Bounty Hunters? Yes. Yes, we do. And being that we have that open line of communication, it didn't stop. It has been useful in preventing the Bounty Hunters and the PJs to going back into a full-fledged war. So I applaud it. You got a blood set and a Crip set that when situations arise, dudes can get on these phones and say, man, pull up. What's going on with this? Oh, this happened, this happened. Oh, the homie ain't say that. We about to go back to the projects and we about to holler at him. Anytime black men could come together and discuss black issues and get solutions that work for black people, hey, I'm in favor of that, baby. As far as the PJ Bounty Hunter relationship, can we tighten up a little bit? Most definitely. But at least we got the relationship. It's been situations to where the Bounty Hunters that got into it with certain dudes and didn't have a line of communication, and the PJ say, hold on. We can holler at our folks and we can get this resolved. All right, for sure. Get it resolved. It's resolved. And vice versa. There's been situations with dudes and it can potentially go up. And the Bounty Hunter's like, hold on. Cats from Bounty Hunter's like, hold on. We got you, champ. Let us holler at Whoopty Whoop and all that, and we going to get it resolved. And it got resolved. Anybody that condemn that type of relationship is an idiot. He's an imbecile. He's toxic to our community and detrimental to our people. Can the Bounty Hunters and the PJs tighten up on that relationship a little bit? Yeah. Is it certain levels of favoritism that exist in that relationship? Yeah. But the relationship is there. The relationship is effective, and it has successfully kept gang wars from getting cracking. That's what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? Shout out to the bounty hunters. Like I always say, got an abundance of love for my player partners out there over there in the Nicholson Gordon housing projects. But me, Bobby A.A. Jones, I don't subscribe to Hunter Herd. The bounty hunters are the bounty hunters. The PJs are the PJs. We have a relationship. We have a professional level of understanding. And we use these relationships to mitigate hostile situations that can create or reignite gang wars. That's what I'm going to say. But let's get into the content, man. This is upon Baby Gangsta from out of Compton, and it's on his own self-attestation why myself and a few other individuals have come to the conclusion that we at. Without further ado, let's run that content. K-Lo, what's up, baby? I see you. Hold on, let me get some shout outs to my folks, man. K-Lo, what's the deal? Edie, much love and respect. I see you, man. Johnny Robinson, man, from that mighty, in the words of BJ from Bunny on that mighty, William Nicholson Gordon Housing Projects, the Bunny Hunters, man. What's up, man? Much love and respect. On the reels. It's me say he explained it himself, whether he knew he was or not, that he works for someone and his friends that do as well. He wants that big U contract, it seems. Maybe they want to copy or create a similar organization like the Grid and take it into Compton. Or maybe they want to expand the Grid into Compton and holler at the mayor over there and get funding, so on and so forth. Something is going on over there because of the things that the brother said. I don't want to repeat it. I'm gonna let the brother hang himself. Oh, no, not hang himself. I'm gonna let the brother explain himself. I just want to, send some shout outs. Ducky Jackson, what's the deal, man? Hey, man, happy Hood Day. Well, even though it was yesterday, but happy Hood Day to my player partners over there on 117th Street, man, and abundance of love. I appreciate the support. Everybody. Adrian Cook says, I think they should get paid for your time because we only live once, bro. But I agree. Now it's at the point that, yeah, people should be compensated for their time because now it's a job. Now they have funding for it. Listen, in my fight for peace, in me pushing peace, I wasn't getting paid. I didn't need to get paid to get out there and say and do what was right and what was to the advantage and the benefit of the community. But if you got other dudes that's getting paid, if I come back, I need to be compensated. A lot of people don't know what goes into being a fighter for peace, trying to increase the understanding and awareness in a lot of people who are still damaged, broken, and hurt. Was I met with opposition from my tribe, my homies, when I was pushing peace as adamantly as I was, as diligently as I was? Yeah. Was I mad at the homies? No. Because you can't expect a blind person, whether partially or fully, you can't expect a blind person to see the vision. They're blind. They're handicapped. So let's work on incorporating some form of education, healing, and awareness so that we can take the binders off of the faces of the homies so they can see the vision now. Did some of the homies come around once we had conversations? Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be some opposition. But if you're persistent and you have the ability to vividly paint a picture or rhetorically, you can shape the minds of the youth and some of the homies that was initially opposed to it. But let's get into this content, man. Got a few timestamps. All right. We're gonna go to 420, but we're gonna take a little bit back. Let's go back. Let's go about right there.
From LA that work with that grid program, man. And it's like this: if a shooting go on in the hood,
hold on, let's take it back.
You know what I'm saying? Reports, you know what I'm saying? Say I'm not a part of the grid program. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna speak up. But I got a whole lot of homies, you know what I'm saying, from LA that work with that grid program, man.
I'm gonna tell you like this, real quick. Bad company does what? Corrupt good character. Certain individuals aren't going to have certain individuals around them unless they're on the same accord, unless they're pushing the same agenda, unless they're on the same mission, unless they engage in the same or similar activities. So when he comes on and says, I'm not a part of it, but I have friends whom are, you have a vested interest in protecting the image and the potential integrity of that movement because you are connected with individuals who are doing some of these offenses that we're alleging that they are. Let's get back into the content.
And it's like this: if a shooting go on in the hood, you know what I'm saying?
Listen up.
Yeah, you might be obligated to do a report, but you know what I'm saying? All you can say is, you know, whoop whoop such and such. Somebody came by and shot such and such. Whoop whoop. That's you can say. Ain't nobody gonna say somebody from ain't nobody gonna say somebody from Hoover came by and shot somebody from the 60s. You know, the Hoovers didn't know. All they gonna say is it was a gang related shooting. That's it. Because they can't say who did it, man. That's part of gang intervention. We can't tell the police shit. Anybody that know, homie, know that you cannot tell the police shit.
I want to run that back. I want y'all to listen to
you
what
can't tell
said.
No who, what, when. All you can do, you can't tell no who, what, when. Anybody that know, homie. That's it. Because they can't say who did it, man. That's part of gang intervention. We don't care who did it, man. That's part of gang intervention. We can't tell the police shit.
One more time.
Anybody who did it, man. That's part of gang intervention. We can't tell the police.
When the brother said we don't, when the brother says we don't, that's holding yourself in concert, in partnership with these individuals. That's inclusion. We don't. He didn't say they don't. He said we don't. Gangsta, who you working for, big homie? To the point to where you may be potentially writing reports. So if you don't work for Grid and you don't have an organization that's receiving government funding, then who are you contracted to? Who are you writing reports to? If you're not working for Grid, any other nonprofit organization, but yet you're writing reports, you're giving information, you're informing, who are you writing reports and informing to, brother? That's all I want to know respectfully. Because you held yourself in partnership with these brothers when you said we don't, you admitted that you're a part of that. If I'm wrong, I want y'all to correct me, but let's get back into the content. And this is revelating. This is big because there was allegations and accusations of Gangsta not that long ago being an informant. Whack 100 in partnership with his partner, his business partner, 600, went down to the federal courthouse and paid for some documentation that had OG name on it. And that's when the topic came back up. I remember being a kid, hearing about certain dudes, and then hearing, oh, he this and he that. Or he got down on these, he did this, and you understand what I'm saying? It's not a good look. But let's get back into the content, man.
Can't tell the police shit. Anybody that know, homie, know that you cannot tell the police shit. Who did it, man? That's part of gang intervention. We can't tell the police shit. Anybody that know, homie, know that you cannot tell the police shit, homie. You can't tell no who, what, when. All you can do is report that it was a shooting. That's it. See, these dudes don't know what the fuck they talking about, man. You know, first thing in gang intervention, they tell you when you go take the classes is that, you know what I'm saying, is you not supposed to talk to the police. You know what I'm saying? And doing your little report on your phone ain't nothing. I can report, oh, such.
We're going to stop it right there, right? He say the first thing that they teach in that class, how do you know what's being taught in that class if you're not a part of it? We're going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that your friends, your comrades, you know what I mean, your associates that you chill with, maybe they told you that that's the first step to intervention. I believe it's a fallacy. I believe that is rooted in falsehood. I believe it's a false narrative. But I will say this. Right? And I'm trying to carefully select my words. I want to be responsible with my words. OG Baby Gangster. How could you say that they are not permitted, that it's a prohibition on them from speaking with the police, and they have a department within that organization that when there's an unaliving, they call individuals from that program to come to homicide scenes and do what? Talk with the police, exchange information. The police will say this, that, and third, whatever they say. The interventionists will say this, that, and third, whatever they say. Then the interventionists go out on their mission. That's a fallacy. That's a falsehood, big bro. We can't be putting out these falsehoods, and we are endeavoring, hoping, we are setting goals to help the people. You can't deceive the people, and you're trying to relieve the people of this generational curse. We have to be honest. We have to be transparent. In certain situations, we have to be accessible. There's going to be situations to where we have to be vulnerable. But at the root of it, we have to be real. We have to be organic. We have to be authentic. We have to let the people know that I am trustworthy. You can trust me. I'm not here to deceive you and falsely lead you. No, we're not doing that. But like I tell everybody, man, we're living through the age of revelations. What does revelation mean? To reveal, to show something. To show, to make clear, to make known. If a dude is a homosexual, it's going to come out. If a dude is a snake, it's going to come out. If a dude is an informant, a snitch, a rat, and all this manner of ignominious things, dishonorable things, it's going to come out. All you have to do is be in tune and pay attention. It's going to come out with everybody. In the Bible, it says that men should run to the mountains and say, hide me from the wrath of the Lord. But God should take the mountains and cast them into the ocean. It's no hiding from this. You can no longer pretend and masquerade. You can't do it no more. That time is over. We're in an age of information, revelation, knowledge. We're in that time and that age. So when you're pretending, when you are aligning yourselves with people who have an agenda that's rooted in trying to deceive and mislead God's people and prevent the reintroduction of the Black Messiah, you're going to be held accountable. God is about to start showing the community, the people, the true identity and purpose of you frauds, you fakes, you pretenders, you hypocrites. It's that time. But you know what? I can feel myself escalating a little bit. And I want to be responsible with my words. You know what I mean? I don't want to resort back to cursing and that's on this and that's on that and that's on. We're going to refrain. The babies is watching. Let's introduce the babies to the medicines and the concepts that can be beneficial and useful to their progress and their success. So I done came down here, man. I done gave you my spiel. I'm about to get up off this thing. I gotta finish writing. But this is what we gonna do. Because I read to y'all what it says on the internet about Grid working with the police. It opposes what Brother Gangsta is saying. But Monday or Tuesday, we're going to call the Grid and we're going to ask them, can Grid workers give information to law enforcement? We're going to call the Grid. We're going to get it straight from the horse's mouth. They telling you not to do, they're telling you not to talk, or they telling you not to the police while talking to the police. I think my player partner is saying they're telling you not to talk to the police while talking to the police. I agree. That's my time. That's my live. I'll be back for episode 18 at some point in time tonight. Y'all stay up at some point tonight. Y'all stay up, be blessed. Let's swing over here real quick. Man, KB, what's up, man? Hey, man, I was at the funeral, man. I was looking for you, man. I wanted to come and, embrace you, man, and let you know I love you, Heedy. But I sent mine, man. I wish I could seen you in person, but it's all good, Heedy. We'll catch up, man. To everybody that's over here on Instagram, I can't see the comments and all that when I be over there doing my stuff. You know what I mean? But come over there and fuck with me. Come follow me over there. But I'm about to get back over here and I'm about to end this live. I appreciate y'all. Too black, too strong. We all we need. We all we got. All power to all people. Let's live in peace before we be forced to rest in it. And that's my time. I'm going to bring this broadcast to a cessation. I mean, we just went over that word yesterday. So yesterday's word was cessation. That's CESSATION. It means to bring to an end. And today's word was what? Attestation. Attestation. Cessation yesterday, and today attestation. That's my time, and I'm about to end this live, man. Y'all step and be blessed. Let's live in peace before we be forced to rest in it, man. God bless y'all. One love.